Hi, I'm Jennifer of the Soul Foundry, here to talk to you today about intuition. There are 4 types of intuition, and you may be operating on one or all 4 of these channels. Check it out, see which ones resonate with you. So the first one is clairsentience, the second is claircognizance, the third is clairvoyance, and the fourth is clairaudience. So let's break down what each of these mean. The first, clairsentience. This is based in the first 3 chakras, and people who are deeply empathetic, this is the place that they're operating from. So people that are empathetic have a vibe of what's going on in the environment, either with other people, their immediate surroundings, and the collective unconsciousness. And they're able to receive this information through the first 3 chakras. As a side note, people that are HSPs or highly sensitive people are able to feel this, but it's not necessarily just located in the first 3 chakras. They're able to receive this information throughout their entire body. So if you are empathetic, does this mean that you just automatically take on other people's emotions? Not necessarily. That happens when the first 3 chakras are not validated, when we're not validated, usually as children. So if you were a sensitive child and people always said to you, "You're just so oversensitive," or "Don't worry about it. Why are you feeling sad? Be happy. There's nothing to be upset about." That is a way in which we learn to distrust our own inner wisdom. And so these first 3 chakras tend to get shut down, particularly the root chakra. And when this happens, the other chakras get overactive. And what can happen is that can lead to anxiety, hypervigilance, and or the chakras just shut down completely and we mistrust all the information that comes through to us. So people that are empathetic will often say, "I don't know how I knew that. I just, it was a gut feeling." Or, "I didn't feel like doing that. I have a pit in my stomach. I'm not quite sure why." Those are examples of this first type of knowing. The second one is claircognizance, or knowing. And this helps us translate our experiences. And this is a heart knowing. This is based in the heart chakra. And I would say of these 4 channels, that's the one that's the most natural to me. And it's a way of working very directly with energy. There's not an interpretation, there's just a knowing. And so if you receive clairvoyant information, which is a seeing with the inner eye, inner senses, you might have all sorts of information coming through, all sorts of pictures, but if you don't know what those pictures mean, it could be like watching a silent movie without there being any captions. So you might have an idea of what's going on, but you don't understand the dialogue. You don't have a real specific understanding of what's going on. That's where this claircognizance can come in and help clarify the things for you. And the 4th type is clairaudience, which is a type of hearing. And this information isn't coming from you, it's coming from spirit. And it's something that is, for me, pretty rare, but when it happens, it's very striking. So I'll give you 2 examples. So the first one, I was in my 20s. I was driving very fast in my ex-boyfriend's very speedy Celica, and I was coming up off an exit ramp. And I heard a voice say to me, "Slow down." And in those days I had a lead foot, but I slowed down immediately because I was so struck by, this voice coming through. And lo and behold, a little boy was going across the top of the exit ramp, and he ended up about a foot from my right bumper. And had I not slowed down, I would have struck and probably killed this child. So I am so grateful that I listened to that. And then the second time was my first official date with my now husband. He and I were laughing and joking and having a good time. And about halfway through, I went to the ladies' room. And in the stall, I heard a voice say, "You're going to marry him, right?" And lo and behold, it is now 21 years later, and we are still married. And when I tell people that story, they kind of look at me sideways, but it's the truth. I heard a voice in both of those instances. I've heard it in other instances as well, and I always know to heed it. So how can you develop your own forms of intuition? The first is working with the chakras. Unless those first three chakras are really well grounded, you are living embodied, then you're not able to really be a strong enough vessel, if you will, to have good boundaries to be able to take in this information and act upon it. So the first thing is doing some good basic chakra work. People tend to think of intuition as, being in the upper chakras, which it is for clairvoyance and clairaudience. But unless you have a house that has a solid foundation, then the information that you're getting may or may not be clear to you, and you may or may not know how to act upon it. So having a nice, strong foundation, knowing who you are, being able to trust yourself, being able to heed the messages that come from your body, this is how you start to develop your intuition. So I hope that was helpful to you. Take care.